Oh, good morning and welcome in. It is a Friday and there is no coach. There is a Mikey P though. Mike Pendleton sitting in for the coach. Welcome in to Coach and Company, and we've got a lot in store. Busy week in the world of sports. The sports world flipped on its head on Tuesday night in the NFL and the NBA. We're going to recap all that has happened throughout the week. We're going to look ahead to the World Baseball Classic tonight, and I think we may have an intriguing opinion from one of our panelists today on Team USA. So, very excited to do all that. But before we get started on Friday, we must look back to Thursday. And after a slip up in the road on Wednesday, I think we bounced back in a big way yesterday. If memory serves me correct, we were 5-3 on the day. So, little Rafael clap to all those who contributed to getting us a winning day yesterday. Also, our brand new merch store is live. You hear us talking about it every single day. Use code double D, that is DOUBLED, for 15% off. You see it right there on the screen. You could be Big Tommy C and What a Fugazi, or you could just support myself and get a Kiss Up Mountain t-shirt. So many options. Hot girls love Dirt Sheet Dan. All right, debatable, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it in there. We'll leave it in. Also, speaking of the wrestling side, the BTT Studios, we had the latest episode of Coaching Bro. It is live. So much fun. So much to talk about over there on the wrestling side, including outrageous prices that just don't bring the fans back anymore. I mean, WWE World, what are we doing? What are we doing? $300 for a photo op? I'll let you guys go back to listen and Coach and Vince Russo for all of that. Finally, we brought it back this week. We were thinking about going twice this week. It has not happened yet. But with March Madness right around the corner, the premium pop up shows are back, and you can become a premium member for just $7 a month. You'll hang out with myself and other members of the crew as we do live watch alongs. We bet live, we cash tickets live, and sometimes we just have story time, and it's all a great vibe. All right, housekeeping done. I've got a really good feeling about today. I am fired up. I know the guys are fired up. I can't even finish. It is time to beat the books. Oh, the quad four. The quad four we're going here. The quad box. I am going to start with our numbers guy because he is our numbers guy for a reason. Rafael, you had a lot of stress on you when we were building up to the Super Bowl. I don't know what your stress level is now that we're in March Madness. Good morning to you, sir.
Always tell me, give me a Super Bowl over March Madness because March Madness is not just one game, it's every game. And especially when the tournament starts, you have tip off from 9 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. Super Bowl is just one game. I'll take Super Bowl over a March Madness any day of the week.
Well, you were the one who made 3,000 prop bets for the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's kind of give and take, right? The man with the best damn beard in the game, Soupy. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. And good morning to Team Italy. I just want to thank you for keeping America in the World Baseball Classic. And this shot's for you.
Look at you. Somebody was watching the show yesterday, Gimmick Infringement, but I'll leave that alone. And finally, we call him Big Money Chuck because all he produces is Chuck Marks down in the dirty. Good morning to you, Chuck. How are you, sir?
Morning, Mikey P and company. We switched frames mid-show right there for us. Yeah. Congratulations on the results yesterday. I think we've had a pretty good week, and we get back to the other footy ball this weekend. No more tournament play. We have league play, so excited to get it going.
You are absolutely right. And it is Footy Friday. So very excited for that coming up in about 5 minutes or so. But gentlemen, Chuck said it himself. We've had such a fantastic week. little slip up, just one day. But you know what? 4 out of 5 winning days, I think will do and make everyone happy. And if you've been tailing us in the chat, you're welcome for all the green check marks we have produced. So I have one very simple question. Damn, Ralph, you didn't even move. I mean, where's the energy? Where's the passion? Where's the happiness? You could have been first. Never mind you. Soupy, what do you got for us today?
I'm going to start on the ice. I'm going the Oilers 60-minute money line. That means they have to win this game in regulation. But against the Blues, I think they're going to get it done. I don't care that they played last night. They were down big very early against Dallas. So those top two lines did not get a lot of ice time. So they'll still be fresh. And I like Connor Ingram for the Oilers in the net. He has been the better goaltender of this team. He has won 3 straight games, including against Vegas and Colorado. So I think he gets it done against St. Louis. And then I'm going Clemson plus 12.5 against Duke. This is what's the problem with Duke right now is when you only have an 8-man rotation, losing 2 of your starters makes your other big starters have to play a lot more. Isaiah Evans and Cameron Boozer both played 39 minutes yesterday against Florida State, who almost beat them. And now they're going to have to play another tough game against Clemson, who just battled against North Carolina. I think they keep this game close.
I absolutely love it. Raphael, you and I kind of have similar plays. I think I see a little bit of, everyone say it with me,
Energy.
We're not even yeeting. That was absolutely terrible. Raphael, what do you got for us?
It's a Friday the 13th, so you know I had to go with a St. Joseph play. St. Joseph minus 1.5 in college hoops. This number, grab it now because I can guarantee you it's probably going to go to 2.5 or 3 by kick or tip off. It is an evening game. Davidson has had trouble covering games. They've only covered 2 of their last 8 games. St. Joseph's a perfect 6-0 straight up and against the spread, and they're well rested. So I think St. Joseph easily covers this number. I like them tonight in the tournament. And then I'm going to go super on this one. Clemson Duke. Give me the over 134.5. Both teams won yesterday, 80-79. What are the odds of both teams hitting the same score? That's pretty ironic. Both teams went over the total yesterday. And since Duke lost to North Carolina February 7th, they're averaging 81 points per game. I think they're going to probably try to keep this tempo fast. I think this game goes over the total. I like it 134.5.
Yeah, I was very shocked by how Duke looked, especially in that first half. I think we all were. So I'm very excited to see how that play works out. I really like these picks by you guys. And shout out to our man Carl in the chat with his tennis picks and his tennis recap. But guys, you know, we've mentioned it a lot at the brand here. And Raphael, everybody at the brand, Chuck, Soupy, you guys all put in research. Sometimes I just go with a vibe, right? I just want to go with me. It's for me, these are my picks, so it's all about me. And today, I'm going with me picks, meaning I got Illinois minus 7.5. Why? Because I'm from Illinois. That's why. I don't care about anything else. This team is good. They're one of the best teams in college basketball. They're going to have to play like it against the Wisconsin Badgers. Then my second pick, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Why? Because I love me some Coach Cal, John Calipari. I have been saying it for over a month now. Darius Acup is one of the best players in the country. The Razorbacks have really turned it around with him leading the way. And if you're talking about a guy who was a top 10 potential, could leapfrog into top 5 potential in next year's NBA draft, Darius Acup is going to have to handle business for the Razorbacks, and I think they will tonight against Oklahoma. And then finally, in the UFC this weekend, I said it was all about me for these picks, right? And I am going with my girl, someone I have loved covering throughout her entire career. Give me Jillian Robertson going up against Amanda Lemos to win by either KO, TKO, DQ, or submission plus 200. Quite simply, guys, this fight just can't hear the final bell, and Jillian Robertson needs a finish. So those are my 3 plays for today and tomorrow. The UFC card going down on Paramount Plus. All right, enough about me, more about you guys. It's time for a little Footy Friday. All right, Chuck. I know we've got a busy weekend in the sports world. Where are you headed for this weekend?
We're actually going to start on Saturday this weekend. We're going to go to the EPL, West Ham, Man City, and I like the Hammers to start fast, especially with the Citizens having played midweek. Go ahead and give me play number one. West Ham, first half team total over half a goal. They have 6 first half goals in their last 5 matches, plus the over 3. These two have combined for at least 3 goals in 6 straight. Then we go to France League 1.
Oh,
Monaco, they welcome Brest to the French Riviera, and I'm expecting a high octane match with this one. Go ahead and give me the over 2.75 as Monaco home matches average 3.5 total games. And then we wrap it up on Sunday. Germany, Bundesliga, Stuttgart, Leipzig. Another match where I'm expecting early goals with the first half over 1.5. And I'm expecting the Red Bulls to contribute to that number. Leipzig first half team total over a half a goal as they have they have 5 first half goals in their previous 5 fixtures.
all right. So, Chuck, I love those plays, but here's why you are a man of the people, Chuck. When I look at those pick screens and I see everything that you have laid out for the weekend, you're telling me our Saturday afternoon we've got to focus on Brest. I'm
I
sorry.
was
I'm
wondering
sorry.
if
I'm
you,
sorry.
I was wondering if you saw that.
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. Very, very good, Chuck. I really like all those plays. And how did we do last week on Footy Friday?
4 and 0.5 because we split on one of the first halves, so we did good. But that's the last week. We're going to concentrate on this week.
I love it. I love the mindset. Go ahead and take a screenshot. You see those plays there on the screen for you. And guys, we've got a crazy busy weekend in the world of sports. And we look ahead to some of the things that will be taking place this weekend. Subi, I'm going to start off with you. And I know I have a very particular question coming up in about 30 minutes, but what is the thing you're excited for the most as we're right around the corner of everything kicking off?
I think that definitely for March Madness, I am interested to see where some of these teams are seated. I think even the number 1 and the number 2 seeds, I don't think they're settled right now. I think some of those top teams, they may need to win their conference championship in order to get that number 1 seed.
Raphael, what is Selection Sunday like in your world?
Normally, I
Oh,
have all my numbers out already, so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm actually looking forward to the game tonight. That I think whoever wins this game wins their conference tournament. New Mexico and San Diego State. So if one of those two win the tournament, that means one of the teams that we think it's going to be in won't be in because right now both New Mexico and San Diego State are not in the tournament. That could bubble burst somebody. Redhawks.
all right. Well, producer man, we know what to do with Raphael after that little subtle shot. Chuck, everyone's talking about March Madness. Are you going 3 for 3 here? And is that the number one thing on your viewing docket? Or maybe is it Team USA versus Canada tonight?
Exactly, you read my mind. Yeah, WBC, and then looking forward to the MLB season starting shortly after. Yeah, it's all about the WBC for me in this household.
I love it, Chuck, because we'll talk about the WBC coming up in about 5 minutes or so. But Saturday, Saturday's big in this household because I am split down the middle between Italy and Puerto Rico. And I do know who I'm rooting for. And if Soupy, shout out to you for the espresso cup this morning. We're all going to need espresso at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon local time here when those two teams battle in the WBC. All right, gentlemen, job well done. I have a great feeling we are going to see plenty of green check marks throughout the weekend, and it all starts this afternoon. We have a lot of headlines to get to, some of which make you scratch your head, some of which I really don't agree with records being broken. We'll talk about all that and more right now, and a little thing we like to call front page news. All right, gentlemen, we've seen hearts crushed, records broken, and some people, quite frankly, not giving a damn. And we'll start right there. Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra kind of really went off after the 83-point explosion, history-making performance from Bam Adebayo, and say what you want about Bam's performance: 43 free throws, 43 shots. No matter what you think, Soupy, no matter what you think, Raphael, or what I think, here's what Eric Spoelstra had to say. Producer man, cut one.
I apologize to absolutely no one. Period. And going into the game, it's a Tuesday night game against a team where they're not playing for anything, where their organization is trying to lose. We've already lost a game, in that kind of situation. We have players that are sitting out, and I spoke to Bam about I want, as our best player and team captain, for him to be locked in and ready.
Guys, I actually don't hate that, right? Like, we talk about all these teams tanking. We don't talk about the other side. While you have teams tanking, you have teams like the Miami Heat, coaches like Eric Spoelstra, who say if they want to tank, they don't care. They have nothing to play for. We do, whether it's playoff positioning or it's just a bit of self-respect. Soupy, start with you. Your thoughts on Eric Spoelstra?
I love that he said the quiet part out loud. He told them that they are trying to lose. We know that they're trying to lose. We know that they are trying to tank. And he's not apologizing for what he said. That is his best player that was on the court that game. That is the team captain. You need to lock in and you need to do what you want to do. I don't care that he took 43 free throws. I don't care that he shot 22 times from beyond the arc. He did what he needed to do to help them win that game. That is it. And they knew when he had 40 points in the first half that this was something special, and they leaned into that. So who cares if he was against the Wizards? Who cares how many shots he took? How many other players could say they've scored 80-plus points in the NBA? Just 3.
I love it. Raphael, Subi brings up a lot of great points, and Bam went off himself saying, be mad at the other coaches. Right? Like, a lot of this does circle back to, guys, it's the Washington Wizards, and it's a bigger problem in the NBA than just how Bam got there. It's the lack of competition on the other side. Your thoughts on what Eric Spoelstra had to say?
Yeah, we can pinpoint on Washington. We can pinpoint on the coaches. Both coaches maybe take Bam out, or to look at the Washington coach. But I'm going to look at a fan point of view. Everybody was on their feet every time Miami had the ball. So if you're the Heat and you're Spoelstra and you're Bam, let's give the fans something to cheer about. No one's cheering about NBA. All we're doing is nitpicking about teams tanking and teams and LeBron this. We're not cheering about stuff in the NBA. So if I was at that game, I would be cheering too. What do we do at a baseball game when someone's close to a no-hitter? We're all cheering. We're all looking, I got this ticket stub. I can't wait to save this ticket stub. I'm glad that the fans got to see it. No matter how Bam got it, the fans got to see it.
Raphael, I absolutely love that take. And Subi, kind of a little stay on your toes here, but this overshadowed something that could have been high drama in Miami with Dwayne Wade coming out and saying, I know I don't play for the organization anymore, but I'm not okay with play-ins for the Miami Heat. I'm not okay with being average for the Miami Heat. And yes, Bam Adebayo was asked about it, but when you have a performance like that, like Raphael says, it just overshadows and overtakes everything that could have been hurting the Miami Heat.
You're right. In this situation, you don't want to put you in the play-in. You want to make a playoff spot. He did what he needed to do. That is it. They need to win games right now. The Eastern Conference, it's close. For seeding, it is close. They need to win games. They had an opportunity against a team that doesn't want to win games. You take advantage of it. I don't care that it took all of those shots. I loved watching that moment.
Yeah, I love it. And Carl in the chat says a lot of players in the league could score 80 points if you let them against the third stringers up 20 points at the half. That goes back to coaching. It absolutely goes back to coaching. And another thing that goes into coaching is how to defend in the NBA. And I know, Raphael, this is your favorite word to use whenever we're talking about NBA topics. So I am going to start with you. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, breaks a record that's been held for, I believe, 60-plus years by Wilt Chamberlain. The most consecutive games with 20 points or more. SGA breaks it with 127 games. He breaks it last night against the Celtics. Are you impressed by this record being broken?
I am impressed. He's a point guard. He's not a center. He's not a power forward that's just getting dunks and layups and free throws. Well, he does get free throws. I'm impressed that he has done this not one overtime game. That was when I researched that. I'm like, wow, I thought for sure he had at least 2 or 3 overtime games, but not doing it in an overtime game was so impressive. And he's going to continue to streak. This record's going to be hard to beat when SGA sets it.
Well, when they start literally fouling on every single thing that you do in the NBA, I'm pretty sure someone will break it. Soupy, my big issue is this. We have heard for the past 2 years what SGA is very good at, which is foul baiting, getting to the free throw line. All credit to him. He does knock down the free throws when he gets to the line, but Raphael says he's a point guard. I mean, he's really just a scoring guard at this point. I don't want to take anything away from his performances, but I really am not that impressed. Are you?
I'm extremely impressed. What are you talking about? How many other players have gotten this close? Right now, he's number one. You know, the 2 and 3 are? It's Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, 126, and another one with 92 or 93. We're seeing right now, this past week, Wilt Chamberlain is one of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA. And I'm equating this streak to Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak. It is a very, very tough thing to accomplish because how many superstars have not even come close to this? Sometimes you have off nights. Sometimes maybe you play for a little while and you get hurt in the middle of the game. Sometimes the offense is not surrounded by you. SGA is showing that he is consistent every single night and someone you can be confident in to help you win a game.
Well, you asked me what I'm talking about, so Subi, I'm going to come back to you and say, here's my big thing in 2026, right? When you look at a box score and you see 20 points for a superstar, you go, oh, okay, average game at best. Now, I would be more interested to see how many games consecutively SGA can eclipse 25 or possibly 30. To me, that is a bigger feat. I take nothing away from it, but I'm not as impressed by just hitting that 20-point plateau because in 2026, 20 points is an average at best game for a superstar. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but here's the thing is how many times do some of these superstars not get to 20? There's definitely a lot of them because no one has come close to what SGA has done. So yeah, 20 points is is nearly average for a superstar, but to do that for 126 straight games, that's spanning over 2 seasons, that's something to kind of say that's an accomplishment.
Raphael, go ahead.
Look how hot they started when everyone thought they were going to beat the Golden State record. They were up by 20 points a lot in the fourth quarter, and he didn't play, and he still had 20 points. So I agree. This is a feat that I don't think no one's going to break for a very, very long time.
All right, Raphael, before we move on, I'm going to ask you a very hard-hitting question. What would impress you more? SGA getting to 150 games of 20 points or more, or LeBron James scoring at least 10 points for the next 85 games as he plays into next year?
I would say SGA because I'm like DG and everyone else. I think I'm kind of tired of LeBron.
That's exactly why I asked you the question. I just wanted some LeBron hate out of you. I needed a vibe from Raphael because I've got a little bit of hate in my heart today. You know what? A Cinderella story is just that for a reason, guys. Clock strikes midnight on all of them. And very ironically, on Friday the 13th, we're talking about the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, one of the very few teams in college basketball history to have a perfect, undefeated regular season. And then what happens? They get bounced in the quarterfinals. The first action they saw in the MAC tournament. Soupy, I'm going to start with you here. Do the Redhawks actually make it come Sunday night?
I think they make it. I don't think they are guaranteed a spot. I think they're going to get one of those play-in spots. I think what they've accomplished is incredible. It doesn't matter that they're in the conference that they're in. To win 31 straight games is still impressive no matter where you play. I think if they had won their conference tournament, they were guaranteed a spot. They probably would have gotten maybe an 8 or 9 seed, but now I think they're going to play in that 11 seed play-in game.
And Raphael, you've been all over this. You have said they will get no higher than an 11 seed. And I know you've got some feelings on this, so the floor is yours on the Redhawks.
Congratulations, you went undefeated at 31, but no one's going to remember that 31 if you don't win anything. You didn't even win your conference tournament. You're probably not even going to win a weekend game in the NCAA tournament. You are the Golden State Warriors who beat the Bulls record. Did they win the ship? No, they did not win the ship. They went nothing in that game. So even the Patriots, who went undefeated, ask Eli Manning what happened to the Patriots that went undefeated. So yes, Cinderella story. Love the story. They get bounced on a Tuesday in a playing game.
Well, what I just heard from you is a little comparison to the New England Patriots, right? They went 17-0 in the regular season and lost the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I guess the Miami Redhawks, they could say that, right? Like Peter Suter can walk around. By the way, great name for like a Netflix character. Like he should
And
really just go into acting right after his college basketball career. But he's going to be able to say, yeah, I did exactly what Tom Brady did when I was in college. And then people are like, what? Oh, I had a perfect regular season, but I sucked in the playoffs. Guys, I'm with you, though. I was all in because I love the narrative. And I think we're all intrigued by the sports world because of the storylines that they bring. Do I really give a damn about the Miami, Ohio Redhawks? No, I do not. Especially when you lose to UMass on a Thursday morning at 11:30 Eastern in the quarterfinals of the MAC tournament. What are we doing? I guess I wanted to get out in front of the train because March Madness, this time of the year, it always brings out that feel-good story. And I think we got it a little early, so I was all in. Now I'm all out. So tip of the cap. Go ahead, Rafael.
if you're Miami, Ohio right now and you're watching us, because everyone watches us, you need to win Tuesday's playing game and maybe win another game so everyone will forget about that UMass loss and start talking about them going undefeated. I think they need to win 2 games in the NCAA tournament for us to remember them.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. You know what I won't agree with? Mark DeRosa. Guys, I just don't understand what we're doing with the World Baseball Classic, and I'm very fired up about this. Soupy, I know you love baseball. Raph, I know you're a baseball guy as well. I just don't understand, and Raph, you should know this. Growing up in Chicago, you want to love Mark DeRosa, right? He was so fun as a Cub, but how many times can you put your foot in your mouth? Producer man, cut 2, please. Let's listen to this guy.
Is there anything that you want to clarify about the timeline of when all the tiebreakers became clear to you?
Yeah, it's just an overly confident statement on hot stove, period, the end. And it's my fault. I felt good about where we were after Mexico. Listen, us hanging out in the clubhouse is everything I ever dreamed of creating. You got to buy into this thing super quick and try and create a team. And for those players to invite the coaches in and for us to spend time together and enjoy a huge win that we hadn't had in 20 years was something that go out and play well against Italy. They played a hell of a game. They smacked us in the mouth early. They got up big. We went into that game prepared to win it. I think there's a couple false narratives out there, but no, I was well aware that we had to win that game based on all the scenarios that could take place. I mean, they went in 2-0, we went in 2-0. We knew they were playing Mexico the next day. We knew there was tiebreaker rules involved. So I can understand the questions about lineup and pitching situations. We were up against, a lot of guardrails with regards to teams, the deployment of certain relievers, how many pitches they can use, whether they can go back out, whether they can clean up innings. And you're just trying to piece it together in real time.
Yeah, you know what else you should piece together in real time? The actual records of the teams you were just talking about. Team USA was 3-0, Mark DeRosa. What are you doing? Just at this point, stop talking. Soupy, I'm going to start with you. He's taking away from what should be the focus, which is some of the greatest players in baseball history, including Aaron Judge, and having their backs against the wall and overcoming it. What are we doing with Mark DeRosa here?
I feel like he's trying to overly explain it so we forget the fact that he just absolutely makes no sense right now. I don't think he should have came back after the last World Baseball Classic. When you are the defending champions like they were coming into that previous one, and you lose in the finals, I don't think you should have come back because baseball, this is America's sport. We should be winning this thing. We should win this thing this year. And I just don't feel like they were prepared for that Italy game. I don't think he went into that knowing that they had to win. I think he did assume that they were already in because it just looked like USA just lacked any sort of motivation to win that game. And you saw it on the field. And now they've got to kick it back into gear because they're going to play Canada. They might have to play the Dominican Republic and potentially Japan again in the World Baseball Classic final.
Raph, how bad is Mark DeRosa hurting himself on a manager search moving forward, whether it be this year or in the future?
Oh, big time. Because if he loses, which I do believe they're going to lose, he could be the next head coach of the Chicago White Sox. Maybe the A's may be looking at him. He's probably going to lose a head coaching job. And I'm not going to pinpoint everything on him. Let's look at the players. Where's Matthew Boyd? Is he hanging out the U.S. players? No, he's in Cubs spring training. I'm tired. I haven't heard not one Dominican Republic, Canadian player say, you know what, we're going to leave our team right now to go do bullpen sessions for spring training. People, put the USA jersey on and be proud. Don't go into spring training and throw bullpen sessions. I'm tired. I'm pinpointing everything on the players, not the coaches.
All right, well, two things here, Raphael, and then we'll wrap this conversation up. Number one, Matthew Boyd was given a choice he had to make: either be the Cubs opening day starter or stay with Team
Doesn't
USA.
matter.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just putting it out there that that's what he was presented with. So we see where his priorities are. And you said something about Team USA losing, and don't think I'm going to let you get away with it here, sir. When do you think Team USA will lose?
Let's see. We just got done watching the Olympics, and the ladies beat Canada in hockey. Great game. USA beat Canada in hockey. Oh, another fantastic game. Give me some French fries or some curds on it and gravy. Canada beats USA.
All right. Well, we'll handle you after the show. Soupy, 15 seconds. Any thoughts on what Raphael just said? Anti-American.
I mean, this is America's pastime. We can't lose this game to Canada, but they could be in trouble. I'll go with that, but I'm not going to say they're going to lose.
We will find out tonight. I don't think they're going to lose either. I do think Team USA will get it together because, as you've heard, everyone watches the show, and I know. Good morning, Aaron Judge. It's time to play baseball tonight. Team USA and Canada goes down tonight in the World Baseball Classic. Super excited for it. Gentlemen, great job as always. Now, before we get into a little new created segment that we're going to look at the NFL free agency called Hot or Cold, you notice the coach is in here for the last few days. And producer man, could we just show the great people at home exactly what coach is up to this weekend?
Welcome back to the Betcast, everybody. It's very nerve-wracking in the studio right now. We got cameras in here. We got social media. This is our office, first and foremost. We're actually buddies. We're actually friends, even though sometimes we don't act like it.
Holding it up high enough. Just leave it up there as high as you can.
You never keep me dry.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you
Oh, my God.
me, I'd definitely be holding the umbrella because I know you probably couldn't get it up.
I can see you.
Umbrella because you would open the bag and there'd be no rain gear in there.
I just like hanging with you guys, sitting on a couch, calling golf. It's a more relaxed atmosphere, and I feel like I can be myself more.
You can be. You can be yourself.
What they'll do is they don't even know they're doing it, but they wonder out loud a lot because they don't have access to everything I have access to. They're just sitting on a couch. If they say something and I can find the answer to that or something that provides context, I buzz in and say, hey, I can answer that question.
Main man Rick G. Rick, what more do you have on Mr. Cantlay?
Yeah, guys, this is a man who's got a lot of experience around TPC Sawgrass.
They'll pipe me in. I'll be able to come on and say, hey, Patrick Cantlay's played this 9 over par. It's the best or the worst of anybody who's been here at least 20 times. So it's very much a fast-paced research situation that we're in.
This is the broadcast all the other announcers want to do, and we ain't giving it up.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to be in here. Everybody wants to do the Betcast. But make no mistake about it. This is how.
I mean, he gets to be on a couch, right? He gets to be on a couch calling the best PGA Tour events in the world. You can catch the coach over at ESPN on the ESPN app as part of the Betcast Live. So a tip of the cap to Coach, and big thank you for allowing me to sit in the chair for you. All right, guys, moving forward. This week we have seen so many moves in NFL free agency, but I'm still losing sleep over the Max Crosby situation, and I wish I was joking. There are so many layers to this that I think people are glossing over. So I wanted to get a temperature check as we finish out the first week of NFL free agency with my guy Soupy and Raphael. And guys, I'm going to frame the question, and you're just going to tell me if you're hot or cold on the specific situation. So Max Crosby sent back to the Raiders, puts out a tweet. Everything happens for a reason. I'm committed to the Las Vegas Raiders. Soupy, hot or cold, are you in on Max Crosby playing for the Raiders this season?
I am cold as ice. He's committed to the Raiders for now because he is still a member of the Raiders. And maybe that's sort of a negotiating thing for the Raiders. He's still going to be eventually traded. Now I don't think it's going to be 2 first-round picks. It might be just 1 first-round pick. I'm still looking at the Cowboys. They need a pass rusher. I think they're calling up the Raiders as we speak. I think he could be a Cowboy very soon.
I mean, Jerry Jones would be hot, right? I mean, Jerry Jones would make us all feel like he's been smarter than us for the past year and a half since he traded Micah Parsons. Raphael, same question to you. Hot or cold that Max Crosby plays for the Raiders in 2026?
It doesn't get that cold in Vegas. I lived there for almost 20 years. So it's very cold on this subject because he will not be a Raider. I don't care what he tweets, what he says on Instagram, what he says when he's not drinking anymore. He will be a Cowboy or a Patriot next Thursday, right before the first game tips off, because the NFL will hijack March Madness again.
A little conspiracy theory thrown in there. Thank you, Raphael. And guys, I got to say for myself, I'm cold, and I'm not going to go where everyone thinks I'm going to go, that he's going to don the blue and the orange in the Windy City. I'm not going there. I do believe that Max Crosby is what's best for business. I think if I could use a wrestling analogy, I look at Max Crosby as a Cody Rhodes, right? Like you just do what the company wants you to do. You do what makes you look best. I've never heard a single bad thing said about Max Crosby among anywhere in the NFL. And if you ever listen to those mic'd up moments, he's one of the most respected players in the league. So I think right now, Max Crosby is doing what's best for business, even if it may not be best for him. I'm very cold on him playing in Vegas next season. All right, guys, the other side of that. So the Baltimore Ravens throw up their hands. They go, we're out. I think we could all read between the lines. I think they saw the price that they were willing to pay at first, and then the price that they could get Trey Hendrickson on. So, hot or cold, Soupy? The Ravens back out of Max Crosby, sign Trey Hendrickson to a $112 million deal, worth up to as much as $120. Was this the right move to bring in Trey Hendrickson to Baltimore?
Absolutely hot. They needed a pass rusher. They tried to get Max Crosby. His knee is messed up. He's not ready to go. So they backed out and they got the next best thing in Trey Hendrickson. And not only that, double prize, they took him from the AFC North rivals. I think Cincinnati is absolutely stupid. You knew that after that Crosby deal was nixed, that they were going to go after Hendrickson. I think Cincinnati should have just toughened up and said, you know what? We don't want him going to a rival. Trey, let's talk. Let's get back in the room. Maybe we could work something out. But no, Cincinnati is the most inept franchise in the NFL. I don't think it's the Browns anymore. It's Cincinnati.
They've only signed like 3 free agents, Soupy. What are you talking about? Raphael, he does make a lot of great points, and I'll give my thoughts on Trey Hendrickson himself here, but it was a cost-cutting move. They get their 2 first-round picks back, they being the Baltimore Ravens. They get Hendrickson cheaper than they would have Max Crosby. Hot or cold, the right move for the Baltimore Ravens this offseason?
Oh, it's a hot move because you just said they get to keep their first-round picks, but the only thing I'm skeptic is now we have questions on their offense. They think their defense is now stacked. Their defense is going to look like the old Ravens defense we've seen in years past. King Henry, older. Lamar Jackson, can he stay healthy? Now everything pinpoints to their offense, not their defense, which last year their defense had questions and their offense. Can we fix that offense? Because, the defense is going to put you in games when your offense puts 7 points on the board.
They lost tight end Isaiah Likely, who goes
thank you. I forgot about that.
With Harbaugh in the New York Giants. I don't know what the Ravens are doing. Great take by you, Raf. But here's my biggest problem, and I know it's probably going to be very unpopular. Excuse me. I hate this. I hate this by the Baltimore Ravens. I hate this by Trey Hendrickson. This is a guy who had hip surgery, and he was embattled with the Cincinnati Bengals for over a season and a half. I don't know that his heart is truly in it. And I think Trey Hendrickson showed that the only thing he cared about at the end of the day, right here, right now, in March 2026, was that dollar amount at the bottom of his contract and his name on the dotted line. You can praise the Baltimore Ravens for poaching him away from an AFC North rival. But I have questions about Trey Hendrickson going to a division rival that already looks bad after the moves the Baltimore Ravens made. Go get yours. Go get paid. But I don't like the move for the Ravens. I don't like the move for Trey Hendrickson. I think all of them look bad in this situation. So I'm freezing cold on Trey Hendrickson as a Raven. I say that now, Soupy. He'll have 19 sacks next year. Just watch. Just watch. The other side of this, there's so many layers to the NFL free agency this week, is the Las Vegas Raiders. Before they knew they were getting Max Crosby back, for now, committed nearly $300 million to free agents on day one, and they hold the number one overall pick, likely to be quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Soupy, hot or cold, the Raiders offseason will make them a better team in 2026.
I'm hot on it. I don't think they're going to be a contender, not in that AFC West, but I think they're going to be better. I think one of the more important signings they got was Trey Lindenbaum at center. You need a veteran center. He was one of the best available. And if you know that you're going to have a rookie quarterback behind center, let's get a guy with experience. Let's get a guy that is one of the best at his position to protect him. That is the most important thing when you have a rookie quarterback, is to protect him, because early on in a career, and we have seen it so many times. We have seen it with guys like David Carr. We've seen it with Andrew Luck. When you don't have protection, your career just can never become what it should be. And if the Raiders don't want that for Fernando Mendoza, you need to start with protecting him. And Lindenbaum, to me, was their best move.
I agree, Soupy, to an extent, right? Like, as a Chicago Bears fan, you saw Caleb Williams sacked 68 times as a rookie. That went significantly down in year two when they revamped the offensive line. Only 24 sacks taken in a sophomore year. But Soupy, my biggest issue is they committed essentially $81 million guaranteed to Linderbaum, and they reset the market at center by 50%. That is the Raiders being the Raiders when it comes to how they spend. But Raphael, Soupy does make a lot of good points. Where they're placing the money can only make them a better team. Hot or cold on the Raiders turning it around in 2026?
I guess we have to define better. One win better? Ooh, yeah, the Raiders won one game because they're still the Raiders. I'm going to say lukewarm on this one. I'm just not sold. Yes, they spent all that money for a center, but can one guy block five people coming at a rookie quarterback? I'm not sold on this one. I think maybe a couple of years. I think they're trending in the right direction, but this season, maybe one more win because Geno Smith is no longer their quarterback. But I'm not saying, ooh, watch out, they could be a wild card contender. No.
Yeah, and I'm there with you, Raf. I think they will be better than just one extra win in 2026. My big thing is I don't know who Fernando Mendoza is throwing the ball to outside of Brock Bowers. Yes, you have Ashton Genty there. Yes, you have Brock Bowers there. But the team needs to be complete on the outside, on the inside, in the trenches. So I think the Raiders still have work to do, but I will give them credit. If you don't like your offense or you don't believe in your offense, where can you really commit a lot of your attention? To their defense. And they did that this week in free agency. So I do think the Raiders will be a better team. I don't know that they'll be a contending team. All right, gentlemen, last topic here. And, we'll call it Kiss Up Mountain. But one of the bigger splashes in free agency were the Kansas City Chiefs not only getting Travis Kelce back for one more year, but getting the Super Bowl MVP KW3, Kenneth Walker III, to leave Seattle and join the Kansas City Chiefs. Soupy, hot or cold, when Patrick Mahomes returns with those two additions to the roster this offseason, the Chiefs will get right back into being a contender.
I'm very hot on it. I think they're still going to be a contender. This is still a team that was a couple of years removed from the Super Bowl. Last year, just unfortunate with the injuries, tough breaks, and that's why they didn't make the playoffs. They were the heaviest pass team in the league last year. So now you get Kenneth Walker, but I don't trust him to be the 300-touch guy. That's why I think Brashard Smith, look for him. I think he's going to have a really big sophomore year. You have Travis Kelce back. You have some of a good receiving core. You still have a really good defense. Yes, the Chiefs are going to be back in the playoff picture.
Raphael, about 30 seconds here for you. Are you with Soupy? Are you hot on the Kansas City Chiefs being a contender when Mahomes returns in 2026?
If we get the old Mahomes coming back from an injury, then they're red hot. They can be back in the Super Bowl. But if he struggles a little bit because of that injury, they might have a little hiccup.
All right. I agree. The number one thing we have not seen with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes is what? A consistent running game. And I think Kenneth Walker, just like Soupy said, won't be a 300 touch guy, but if he can be 225, 250, and you've got a young back behind him, I think Patrick Mahomes goes, "Oh, I love it here. Thank you, Andy Reid." Gentlemen, well done on a little created brand new segment today. I love the conversation on NFL free agency. Before we get out of here, there's no highlight games that we need to put on our showcase, but there are a few topics we need to discuss in our NBA showcase. All right, guys, welcome back here on Coach and Company. I am Mike Pendleton alongside Soupy and Raphael. Guys, we're not highlighting any games, and we're not even talking that much NBA right now, games, because there's not much on the docket tonight. One quote from last night's loss by the Boston Celtics to the Oklahoma City Thunder stood out to me. We all saw on Tuesday Jaylen Brown getting ejected for going berserk on a referee. You can get one technical, Jaylen Brown. You can't walk back towards the ref and think you're going to get away with it, no matter who's throwing you out. But Jaylen Brown gets to the free throw line 14 times. The Celtics only lose by 2. I was very surprised by that. And he says he needs to just play into the NBA's foul baiting culture that has now been apparent over the last few seasons and flopping. Soupy, I feel like we're starting to get a bit of a petty machete Jaylen Brown, or is he 100% correct?
I 100% agree with him. I think that's just unfortunately become the culture of the NBA. It feels like when I'm watching an NBA game, there's so much stoppage because whenever just a little bit of contact now, they're blowing the whistle. And yes, can we just admit it that the superstars get the calls? LeBron gets the calls no matter what he wants, no matter how many times he wants to sit like, no, you get the calls most of the time. SGA, you get the calls. Luca, you get the calls. Stop complaining. It's just now the culture of the NBA.
Raphael, I'll frame the question to you this way. You mentioned, or you heard those names that Soupy mentioned. I don't know that Jaylen Brown is in that same tier. I believe he's one of the best players in the league. I'm also a Celtics fan. So do you think this is a little pettiness for Jaylen Brown not getting the calls that a Luca and SGA get?
Oh, huge petty. And he's poking the bear, but I don't understand any Boston Celtics complaining that we're not at the free throw line. Who shoots the most 3-pointers in the league? The Boston Celtics. They're not driving to the lane. They're not doing hook shots in the middle. No, they're jacking up threes. So if you want to go to the free throw line, stop shooting threes.
All right. I mean, listen, you've got a point to an extent. Soupy, I know you've rocked Celtics here on the brand every once in a while. I've got to ask you this just on the Boston side. You lose to the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, you were without Pritchard and Jaylen Brown got ejected. And then without Tatum and without Derek White, you lose by 2 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Is this the most impressive 2-game losing streak you've seen this year?
Yeah, it's optimistic when you don't have your full roster to play the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. 2 teams you could likely play in the NBA Finals. When you have your full roster, those are wins. So just get there. I think Tatum's gonna. I don't know. Think Tatum's gonna play a lot of minutes in the playoffs, but I think he's gonna be in every game. Same thing with White and Pritchard. So I'm confident in the Celtics going forward.
Raphael, wrap up the discussion with you. I guess I'll ask you the same question because I hate to make it sound like I'm being a homer, but when you really look at the number 2 seed in the East, going to the wire against the 2 best teams in the West, which is the superior conference, does this get you a little optimistic about the Celtics moving forward?
It does, because when I got in this industry, my first job at Caesar's Palace, one of my biggest bosses and one of my idols was he used to tell me, you learn more from your losses than from your wins. So what did Boston Celtics just do? They lost twice to very good teams. I can guarantee you they learned something from themselves with these 2 losses that they can maybe correct when it comes to playoff time.
All right, and I'm throwing a bonus question here, Soupy, because I know we all have loved the Joe Mazzulla quotes. I don't know if you heard what he said after Jaylen Brown got ejected on Tuesday, but he said, shout out to my high school principal who would actually kick kids out of class and not the hall monitor taking a shot at the second ref throwing Jaylen Brown out of the game on Tuesday. Is Joe Mazzulla the most under the radar savage coach in the media?
Absolutely, and he's not loud. You know, being from Connecticut, I know all about loud. A guy named Mr. Dan Hurley. He's not loud like that. He's very subtle, but what he says, it definitely could cut.
It definitely does cut. He's probably the happiest guy in Boston right now that his team just lost 2 games on the road to Western Conference teams. But we'll see how the rest of the NBA season shapes up. Really enjoyed that conversation here, gentlemen. But we know not everyone was here at the beginning of the show. So we have to bring our picks back. We have to lock it in. All right, we're going to get to Footy Friday here in about 2 minutes or so. Soupy, start us off with your plays today.
Let me go Oilers 60-minute money line, meaning they have to win this in regulation. I don't care that they played last night. The top 2 lines did not get a lot of ice time, so I think they bounce back against a very bad St. Louis Blues team. And then give me Clemson plus 11.5 against Duke. Duke missing 2 starters is key when you don't have a lot of players rotating through Clemson. They're going to keep this game close.
Raphael, what do you got?
St. Joseph's -1.5. Grab it because it wouldn't shock me if we see a 3 when it comes to a tip-off. Davison has trouble covering games. They've only covered 2 of their last 8 games. And I'm going to jump with that Clemson-Duke game. Give me the over at 134.5. It is dropping right now, so I would say wait. You could probably get a better number. Wow, both of them scored 59 points yesterday total, and the total is 134.5.
All right, I got 3 plays for you, 2 on the college hardwood and 1 in the UFC. I am taking Illinois -7.5 versus Wisconsin tonight. If the Illini are one of the best teams in the country, they've got to really be dominant in this Big Ten tournament, and I think they will be. And then simply because I love Coach Cal and Darius Acuff, give me the Arkansas Razorbacks to cover against the Oklahoma Sooners tonight. And then UFC tomorrow on Paramount Plus. Give me Jillian Robertson to win by KO, TKO, submission, or DQ. And that is a plus 200. I absolutely love Jillian Robertson. Think she's one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. I think she gets the job done with a finish over Amanda Lemos. All right, guys, before we close out the show, we've got to bring back Big Chuck. Chuck, Footy Friday, what do you got? Yep. Oh. You got it, Chuck? I think you're on mute. Nope. Still don't got you.
I'm here.
There you are. There he is. All right, Chuck. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Saturday action, EPL, West Ham, Man City. I like the Hammers in this one with Man City having played midweek. Give me West Ham first half team total over half a goal. They have 6 first half goals in their last 5 matches, plus the over 3 as these two have combined for 3 or more total goals in 6 straight. On to France, Ligue 1. Monaco, they welcome Brest to the French Riviera. I like a high-pace, high-octane matchup. The over 2.75 is Monaco. Home matches average 3.5 total goals. And then we wrap it up on Sunday, Germany, Bundesliga, Stuttgart, Leipzig. Another match I'm expecting early goals. The first half over 1.5. I can actually see both teams scoring. Look at both teams that score in the first half as well. And then Leipzig first half, team total over a half a goal. They've actually scored 5 first half goals in their previous 5 fixtures.
Check, and Chuck. Thank you very much, sir. What a way to wrap up the show today with a great Footy Friday pick slate. And gentlemen, before we get out of here, we've had picks all over the place today. But there is only one thing we are most focused on this weekend, and that is championship week in college basketball. So go around the room here before we get out of here. Soupy, start with you. What conference tournament are you most paying attention to this weekend?
100% Big East. I got to see if UConn can win the Big East tournament, because if they win their conference tournament and some other teams lose their conference tournaments, maybe the UConn could sneak into that number 1 seed.
All right. Well, Raphael, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. And that is, I'm looking at all these conferences and I'm trying to find that like 6, 7, or maybe even a 10 seed, right? I'm looking for the team that shouldn't be there. And I want to see how far they can go. Like, I don't know, UMass, who absolutely destroyed my happiness. What conference tournament are you watching this weekend?
Taking that, boys, because I got 2 conferences. Give me the Big West. We have 2 good matchups. The Anteaters and maybe Hawaii can play each other in a championship game, and one of them could steal a bid. And then, of course, the Mountain West, New Mexico, San Jose State tonight.
Raphael, all about that West side. Listen, Subi, I was with you on the Big East, but then DePaul lost, and now I'm out. So that's 2. I'm out on the MAC, and I'm out on the Big East. Chuck, where are you paying attention to? I know where you're at. I know where you're located. So is it SEC country for you?
A little SEC, a little Big 12. It'll be a split between those 2.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up the Big 12. Guys, what are we doing? Why do we have a glass floor in our conference tournament? It looks cool. It's great for video games, not for actual playing in real life. Great move by the Big 12 to go back to a hardwood court. Nobody cares about it being 2026. Guys, great job today. Really appreciate all the great opinions and insight. And thank you to all of you who chimed in with us during and on the chat as well. Coach will be back next week, and you know what time it is. You have your plays, you have our ticket. Take them straight to the pay window, and let's have a successful weekend. We had a great week here. Let's keep that going over the weekend. For Raphael, Big Chuck, Soupy, producer man behind the scenes, always making the show looking like a billion bucks. I am Mike Pendleton, best known here as Mikey P. This has been Coaching Company. Have a great weekend.